Ute,
Oh,
you're a
God.
retard.
Oh, Blavatsky, that shit. What do you bring to the table, P. Morris?
I am the most knowledgeable conspiracy researcher on YouTube.
What do you bring to the table, man? Just answer the question seriously.
Well, check out Flat Earth Frank, and you can see a bunch of book reports I
I'm just
did
asking you
on
a question. I'm
globalist
asking you a
books.
direct question. That's all. What are you doing right here, right now?
I told
To the
you.
table.
So we've got about an hour left on this live stream. Hope you're all enjoying the debate thus far. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside the show while it's live, and a link in the info box below the video once it's rendered. Most importantly, if you would like to join the debate, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video. Shout out to Lotta for the super chat. Click the link in this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected. And if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show. Massive thanks to those of you who've done so already. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. There is, as I say, a little over 1 hour left on this live stream.
Yeah.
No, I just noticed that you were promoting urine drinking, which is Satanism and Luciferian.
So
I
do you have a
just
problem
thought
with
I'd
Satan?
point that out.
No.
Promoting?
I don't think drinking urine is Satanism.
I think
So
I
you
think
ha-
I
so
think
you
you
have-
Wow,
are.
how
I
have
think
we,
you're
how have we strayed so
Luciferian.
far from Flat Earth
Satanism
so
is better
quickly?
than drinking
What the
piss,
fuck
man.
is that, Christian Clark?
So
Wait.
the way you deal with Luciferianism is...
Hey, Preston.
I'm
I mean,
gonna
you're
put
free.
porn on the
You're free
chat.
to promote your Satanist beliefs, but I'm also free
No, it
to
has
say
nothing
that
to
I don't
do with
agree with them.
Satanism.
Yeah, but aren't you the one who's a
Absolutely
self-admitted, has interest in children in a weird way?
Yeah.
Yeah, can we
Satanism
so
is not
far off
some
the
kind of-
reservation? Can we stop with the pee drinking and paedophiles and all this nonsense, please? Let's just get it back onto
Sorry.
Flat Earth, if you don't mind.
We could go back to Tim's observations and how you just claim one word, optics.
Yeah,
Higgins is winning it for snooker,
boys.
there's no physical curve. There's no physical bulge.
Except mountains are half obstructed, Owen.
But they're not because of a bulge.
That's
Not
what you're
because of
saying, yeah, but it
physical
doesn't really explain
local
it, does it?
bulge. There is no local bulge there. There's an optical phenomena, and it migrates as you change the point of view.
That's just your opinion.
No, that's
Yes,
you
it
can
is.
actually see it happening.
It is.
right there.
It is, though. You
It's
can't
your
tell
opinion,
people what
Owen.
they're seeing.
No, it's not an opinion. That's an observation, and everybody can
It's your
confirm them
perspective.
if they're honest
It's your
with
perspective.
themselves.
But I can't be honest with yourself.
It doesn't
know,
explain
I can't
away
see what you
mountains
see.
obstructed halfway.
Yes,
you know,
Yeah,
eyesight
but
comes into
we
question
did.
too.
Don, did you not see the evidence of an inferior mirage?
I saw a little mirage on the horizon, yeah.
Well, there's your explanation.
I
and
saw
correlation.
mountains half obstructed. That's not a mirage.
Yeah, but it was mirage. That's the point. That was the obstruction.
Well, that's when he zoomed right in on Salt Lake City.
He didn't really have any zoom. He was on a GoPro. What zoom did you see? I didn't see any zoom.
That's
It's going
that's
a
the
little
building.
circular. Can I ask a new question to Dawn? How do you get the distance of the sun? To stay away from circular arguments.
I think you
How do we get the?
trigonometry and then estimation.
So you don't think that we can arrive at something that would
No.
be considered
Why can't we measure it?
fair enough?
because you can't go there. You can
Oh.
only determine the angular relations. We've discussed this very, very elaborately. You have angular relations of the
It
heavenly
doesn't make
bodies
us
in
flat,
relation to the
does it?
position of the Earth, and it's very well established. It's very well mapped out. The ancients did it, so the knowledge is there. Predictions can be made, but there is no proof of any physicality about it at all.
What do you guys think about the comparison between Tim's footage and Riley's footage? Both evidence for both models.
I don't think they're evidence for models. I think they're evidence for
But do you think
one
one is
aspect of something.
Hang on. I thought
Better
we just
done, better
established.
done, looks
Hang on,
better, shows more.
Don, why are you comparing Tim's inferior mirage as supporting the curvature of the Earth when we just established that the inferior mirage is the obstruction?
No, you haven't established that. That's an opinion.
But he showed it on screen and you admitted you saw it. And then when he got above the inferior
A
mirage, you could
tiny
then-
mirage does not obstruct half a mountain. And it
But that's
doesn't come
exactly
back when you go
what
up.
it was. Dawn, that's exactly what it was doing.
No.
Yeah, it was. That's where the church went in his first file, and he flipped onto the second file. And I said to Nathan, he's obfuscated the first point. Nathan said he wanted him to make the other point, and then he fucked off. Well, we never got that first church point closed.
Well,
No
I
swearing.
think he had enough when you said slant and optical turbulence.
He's right. What we're describing is scintillation. We're not seeing refraction the way he tells us, because he can't prove the curve, and he can't prove that light follows the 7/6 of the radius of the Earth curve.
I think
What we
whether
can
his,
prove-
whether his evidence proves the globe or whether yours proves
prove
flat Earth, I
we
think
can
his is
prove-
better.
we can.
I'd like to see you with a drone and a P900 and some nice crispy footage.
But
Crispy
what we can
reflections.
prove is that his evidence is consistent with or my evidence is consistent with something called scintillation. That's not refraction.
Tony, your evidence is consistent with somebody that can't focus a camera.
No,
Yeah,
there's nothing
anyway.
wrong with that focused in that image.
It's quite
Anthony,
bad.
would you say that we're
do you
making
mean it's quite
measurements
bad?
from a
Oh,
flat
hold on, I
perspective?
just want to round this out.
34 miles away, what do you expect?
Hold on 1 second. Dawn, what do you think refraction is?
What do I think it is? It's bending of light, isn't it?
Bending? No. It changes the light, which travels in straight paths. It changes
Eventually
its...
bending it.
No. Changes its direction once.
Many straight deviations makes a curve.
Oh,
hence
right.
bending.
So what you are assuming is that you have lots and lots and lots and lots of refraction going on.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes,
But we also
right.
showed that light bends up and
And
down.
that sometimes refraction that you think happens just coincidentally makes everything look like we're on a flat plane, right?
every
No,
time.
no,
Well, yeah, it does.
it doesn't though.
Yes, it does.
Because it
Otherwise,
just
you
showed
wouldn't
you
need
mountains
it to bend
obstructed
light
halfway.
around a curve.
Yeah,
Why do you
and the
think
cause
you're
was in
straightening
inferior
out the
mirage.
curve
That's
with
your
this
opinion.
refraction?
No,
That's
it
what
was
you're
evidence of
doing.
the
You're
evidence.
straightening out a curve. That's what the refraction calculation does. It takes what is essentially a flat plane observation and makes idiots like you think that it's actually a sphere. It's just a trick with maths.
Yeah, we're taking measurements from a flat perspective to see if there is a curve. You know, we're not operating from the ball first. You can't put the cart before the horse. You know,
I'm gonna-
we're here
gonna
on a
stop it
flat
now.
plane, seeing if it's a ball.
Yeah, that's what
I'm
Charles
gonna
has been
drop
doing.
it.
That's the purpose of what Charles is doing. He's basically training these monkeys to presuppose there's a curve already.
Yeah,
Why
that's-
presuppose? Why is it better to presuppose flat than curve?
No, it's
what's the
better to have
difference?
no
It's not that we're presupposing it. It's obvious and observable.
Well, but you don't have
That's-
any observable flat Earth.
Well, Riley,
No,
why
nothing
do surveyors
observably
build on a
flat.
flat plane then? Why do they build buildings the way they do? Why don't we see any obvious curve across these cityscapes? No, because they
What?
survey.
Curve?
It's-
They
of course
survey
it's
it as
flat.
flat.
We don't
Pete.
need any flat
They
observations.
survey it as flat. The people building stuff that actually depends on people's lives not being ruined by things falling over if they're not built on the correct
Sorry, curve
Earth
across the
shape.
cityscape.
They build on flat, level surfaces.
Like you
They
expect.
level
But there's
their
no reason
transits,
to
P.
assume a ball.
So the
Like a
people that are
rainbow
actually
shape.
building things while this wanker talks all over me, the people actually putting things into effect and building stuff, they are building on flat planes. They level their transits. They make absolutely certain that they are building on a level surface. So if you want to show me some nonsense with geodesy, then fine, I'll just laugh.
Nathan, building a level building does not mean the Earth's flat. Like,
Yeah, it
I
does.
don't understand the
Yeah,
argument.
it does.
It's
Everything they
flat as
survey
far as-
is flat, you moron. Yeah, you want to claim that this proof that Anthony's brought out is somehow supporting Earth curve, and yet we've had 2,000 years of acceptance and sod all scientific evidence to back the assertion. You idiot muppets actually use our evidence to try and claim there's curvature. It's total and utter nonsense. Yeah? Where's your actual proof of radius? Where's your proof that we're on a sphere? It doesn't exist. You presuppose it.
where-
You
Guys,
put
you
it
guys
into the
gotta come to
maths.
terms with
You
this.
How
put
about
it into the
night?
maths
You're
before you do any
presupposing
equations.
flat.
When it
That's
goes
okay.
to
That's
Where
okay.
do they observe curvature?
You have to have a presupposition to have a belief.
Yeah,
Timur,
that's what
you
they
said
have.
they-
They have a belief in Earth's curvature based on the presupposition of a radius, and they insert it into the mathematics and then go from there. So no matter what happens, it's always going to come out globe-shaped because they presuppose it's a curve. That's what they do. So you idiots, Dawn, I'm talking to you specifically, are being programmed to presuppose we're on a bloody curved Earth. That's what you do. You insert a radius to all of your mathematical equations.
What would you do if you just ran with it, Dawn? If you just ran with the idea?
what? Flat Earth?
I don't know why. Exactly.
I am running with it. I'm
You-
here 14 months later, still talking to you people.
But it seems like you have an allegiance to the sphere. Why have allegiance to either or?
Why
Just
not?
go with what you because all you have is perspective. All you have is your perspective.
And all the
Because
evidence
your
from other
consciousness.
people.
They observe a
That's
magical
not,
curvature.
but
Nighttime.
What
that's
do you
not your
mean, all the
experience.
evidence?
That's not your
No.
Pitch
experience.
black nighttime every night.
Dawn, what do you mean all the evidence? Where's all this evidence you keep referring to? Because I don't see any evidence for what you're
There's
claiming.
obstruction everywhere.
Yeah,
There's
and it was,
pictures from
it was
space.
shown.
Sorry.
It was shown.
People
to be
measuring
obstruction.
Are you
I'm talking
talking?
about
Why
your
is it that when we say curvature, you say obstruction, Dawn? What the hell does obstruction have to do with curvature? They are totally different things. Yeah, I can obstruct something without any curve being involved.
You guys are like holding flat Earth at the door. Like, don't let it in. Don't let it in. But it's going to get in eventually because it's what you see. It's where you go. No matter where you go, the ground is beneath you. It's always going to be there.
It's not guaranteed.
Hey!
And some
When you say
people
getting
can
in,
grow old and
let me ask you this,
share
guys.
silly beliefs
Did you
all
see
their
the
lives.
poll? Did you see the poll that was done on this morning when Gary Heather went on with the two other guys and they were basically talking about flat Earth? And the poll that was done at the time said that 4% of people thought the Earth might be flat, but it's gone up since then to 9%. Same poll, same company, same TV show. It's up now to 9%. So 9% of the people now think the Earth might be flat.
That's
So
cool.
ultimately, it's getting in the door, and it's like it's wiping its feet.
They're not going to stop.
Geocentric.
I wonder which sort of
Geocentrism is
people
sticking its
do
toe in
a
the
It's
door.
not going to
morning
stop,
poll.
man.
But what's wrong with
That's
that?
what the problem
What's
is.
wrong with the new perspective on things? Though?
Nothing. I like it. It
No,
just
you don't.
doesn't have evidence and
No, you,
doesn't make
no, you
full sense.
don't. You
But
can't
Well,
accept
What do you
The
need
thing
evidence?
You
that,
don't know me,
the
Hornet
thing that's
House,
wrong
you
with
don't
flat
know
Earth
me.
is it promotes this like identity politics that's like straight out of communist
Yeah,
Russia.
you have an identity
What?
crisis. You have an
P. Morris,
identity crisis.
you're
I've
out
got
of
a
your
communist
mind,
Russian
Morris.
identity crisis, P. Now that I want to hear.
Identity politics.
How does it do that?
P. Morris, I think you
Because
have an
it
identity
becomes
problem.
it's like back in the day in Russia it was like
I think you're
the
hot pockets
workers
already.
were the victims versus the evil capitalists, and with like flat Earth it's the same thing, but it's like
you don't
flat
even have a
earthers are the
voice.
victims versus the evil globe believers or globe promoters. So
No, we're
It's the
actually
same
getting,
ideology
We're getting
as,
trolled
like,
by fanatics. It has
why
nothing to
they're-
do with identity politics. It
they're
has to do with
promoting
psychology.
hating white
This is what he's here
heterosexual
for.
males.
No,
This is what he's here
what
for.
the
Women
hell?
and
That has
minority
nothing
groups
to
This
do
is
with
what
flat
he's
are
here
Earth.
being
for.
risen. It's the same
Take-
thing.
No, it's
Take the
not the same
conversation
thing.
in this direction.
Oh, it
Marwin,
absolutely
you're-
is.
No,
you're
it isn't.
fighting
That's
with it.
ridiculous.
I've done the research. It's communist propaganda. I know what's going on.
You have
whatever.
no voice,
Communist-
P. Mars.
You know,
You
the
have no voice.
communists actually did embrace the globe. They worked on the space program and everything. It's ridiculous. Has nothing
So,
to
wait.
do
It
with
is.
flat Earth.
It is
Pete.
liberal thinking, new liberal thinking.
No,
this,
it's
not.
This trust philosophy.
No, it's
That's
not.
a point.
Gents, let me have your
It's
attention one
free
sec.
thinking.
I want to show
It's
you. I want to share.
libertarian. It's free.
I
It
want
has
to show.
nothing to do with liberalism at all.
It
Go on,
does.
Anthony.
No,
I've got you
it's
up.
No, it
quite the
doesn't.
opposite.
Well,
actually.
We don't
nobody
trust
cares.
you anymore. That's liberal.
No,
don't care
you're
about
a
that stuff.
fanatic. You're a religious
those-
fanatic.
those are
and
their
you don't
words.
Trust
We
anything
don't need their
that
words.
opposes your religion. That's what's going on.
No.
Yeah,
Those are their words.
yeah, it
We
is.
don't need them.
You're the freaking
I've
liberal.
got to interrupt
You're
Anthony.
the
Looks like he's
fanatic.
doing something flat
Define
earthy.
yourself.
Hold
I
on
am
a
a
second,
liberal, yeah.
guys. Hold on.
Yeah,
Go on,
yeah.
Anthony.
Oh, there you go.
Hold on,
Exactly.
Armin. Hold on.
I'm not a liberal.
Hold on. Go ahead, Dar. There you go. You're up,
Are we
Anthony.
screen sharing? Yeah.
Yes.
Right, on this article about a month ago by a guy called Greg Evans on the Indy100.com website, he claims that it's now a recent study conducted by YouGov of 8,215 US adults has discovered that just 66%, odd number, of 18 to 24-year-olds are convinced that the Earth is round. That means 33% of them don't think that it's round, and obviously that's our position too.
33.
33%. So it's not getting in the door; it's in the door, wiping its feet and putting its coat up.
It's
Did
Mason
you guys
statistics.
see The Principal, the movie?
That's why the Globers are panicking.
Any of you
They're
guys see that movie, the
panicking.
the documentary called The Principal?
Yeah, of
About the
course.
Yeah, we
geocentrists.
did.
I thought it was terrible.
It's
Absolutely
good.
terrible.
It's a good documentary.
It's just a CGI festival.
Earth needs
It's a
one the same.
CGI festival.
Flat Earth needs one on the same level.
How about just like the convex Earth concept?
We need a new Just So
Halfway
story, do
there
we?
and then becomes nonsense.
You need to trick physicists into saying flat Earth is possible, like the principal did.
We don't need to
All
trick
we need to
physicists
do
into
is
anything.
find
Physicists
that
need to
don't write
provide some
things
evidence
off,
that we
because
actually live on a bloody sphere. That's a presupposition, right?
So trick some physicists into admitting
Don't need to
that'd be
trick
cool.
anybody. They need to provide some actual scientific evidence for the sphericity of Earth, Dawn. Something that is sorely lacking in 2,000 years of acceptance.
So what sort do you want? I'll ask you again.
Scientific variety.
But do you want obstruction? Do you want a photo of it curving from space?
Let's have a
How about
Air
Let me
balloon.
know when you're
curve,
certain.
man?
let's have a stationary gyroscope show that the Earth rotates once in a 24-hour period. That'd be enough.
Surely you could sort that out, can you?
How
No,
about
you're the one
some
with all the money.
curvature?
You're the one with all the money.
I don't have any
I
money.
tell you what. I was about. Let's have a spaceman in a spacesuit go into a vacuum chamber and see what happens.
Yeah, let's see them
Like a
test their
head-
suit. It should be a walk in the
head pop.
park, right?
And
They go
that
out
helps
into the
prove the
actual
shape of
vacuum of
Earth.
space. So
Well,
cakewalk,
It would
right?
prove space exists, wouldn't it?
Yeah, let's
No.
stick
You
a
believe that
let's stick a
NASA stuff,
live
though,
spaceman. Yeah, let's stick one of those Freemasons in a vacuum chamber in a spacesuit, and let's just see how well it works.
Yeah.
I not.
I tell you what, I'll nominate Dawn.
You realise you can stop a hole in a vacuum chamber with packing tape.
Oh, and you've
Right.
done this, have you? Have you
Put
done
it on my
that?
finger.
Dawn to go in the spacesuit. But Dawn, would you go?
Man,
in if
I'm
you
not
ever
making it
got
up.
sued?
They've got videos of it on YouTube.
Right, come on, let's see the evidence for that, please.
Oh, really?
I can
You've
stick
seen
my
it
finger in the
before.
vacuum cleaner.
You've seen it
I've
before.
only seen that once on YouTube, and it didn't work out very well for the guy that did
Yeah,
it.
well,
Yeah, you got
I've
sucked-
seen Alien, and the entire alien was sucked out of a tiny little hole in the hull. So basically, that trumps that.
Yeah, let's see what happens, Dawn. Come on. So why is there
Alright,
no
give me a
evidence of a spaceman
Give me a
in a vacuum chamber in a spacesuit?
Vacuum chamber. I wanted to do that when I was a kid so bad.
Yeah, they're
Float
sticking
around.
bowling balls and feathers in them.
What?
Let's stick an astronaut in one.
Yeah, in a spacesuit.
You know-
Yeah, come on.
Float.
Let's
I've
see how
seen.
good they are.
Only
You
spacesuits
don't think
that ever
they're-
function in a vacuum is like a hard armored mechanized spacesuit.
You don't think they
Yeah,
put
that's
people in
what
vacuum
fits.
chambers?
Flexible one.
Oh, here we go.
You don't-
Wicked.
You don't think they put
Pete
people
took
in
the
vacuum
bait.
chambers?
Oh, well, let's
You
have a
put
look,
Hot
Pete.
Pockets-
Let's have a
they
little
did
look.
once.
You put your hot pockets in the
They did it
microwave or a
once.
vacuum
They
chamber.
did it once. Why would they just do it once?
Well,
Let's have a
because the
look.
guy
When has
almost
science
died,
ever-
and then they decided they shouldn't do that anymore.
That's bullshit. Science has
No,
never done
no, it
anything
isn't.
once.
So go find the proof,
They do
T-Mars.
things
Have you
multiple
seen the
times.
footage? The
P-Mars.
guy
I have a
was
picture of it,
hospitalized.
dumb shits.
Have a
Oh,
look.
shit.
Let's have a little
They
look.
did it once. After that, they had
just
to
did it
hospitalize
once.
the guy. Yeah, they did it once. And
That
then they
makes
thought,
no
let's not
sense.
risk that again.
You're
I
silly.
don't even know how to last properly.
Yeah, funny,
What?
isn't it?
Did you know? P-Mars, you
Spacesuits-
probably believe there's a
Spacesuits
car in space,
are
too.
not designed to
What are you talking about?
withstand
You don't.
a vacuum.
Oh,
They're
Kat,
built to
say that sentence
withstand
again,
pressure
Owen.
from the
Say that
outside.
again, please.
Why would you think they wouldn't put a spacesuit in a vacuum
I would
chamber?
say that
It's
sentence.
hilarious.
Not a spacesuit, a man in a spacesuit.
Right. I have pictures of them doing that.
Let's have a look. Let's have a little look.
In the vacuum.
You keep laughing, Pete.
Oh,
Just
in
let's have
2018.
a look. Put them up on screen. Let's have a look.
Come on, Pete. Let's see this evidence.
Yeah, please. 'cause
I've got
I'm dying to see it.
What
Someone
do you
with
think-
pack and tape around their hand in a vacuum chamber.
What do you think it lasts longer? Pizza rolls or hot pockets in the vacuum chamber?
Oh, and did you actually say spacesuits are not designed to be in a
Yeah,
vacuum?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
they're designed to be
exactly what I said.
underwater.
Wow.
They're designed to be
That,
underwater.
that's what they tell you it's designed
Plastic.
for.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
see them
Oh,
actually.
with
We,
another-
well, when we
they're-
see them in demonstration,
probably
right? We either
more-
see them with Hollywood black backgrounds or we see them in water. So I'm pretty certain they can withstand water pressure because I've seen them do it.
Exactly.
And if they have to go to the bathroom, they got to go in their spacesuit.
Did you know that every
Luciferian.
they sent up a dog, they sent up a monkey, and they all died?
I don't think they sent anything anywhere.
I don't think
Well-
we said anything anywhere.
I think there's no reason for me to believe a god dang thing that I don't want to believe. You
Have a
know,
look.
Of course
they
Pia-
not,
put stuff
because you're a
forth.
special
Pia-
communist snowflake promoting your communist agenda here on YouTube. Thanks.
Oh yeah.
Government agent.
Mars.
Sorry, where's
Now
this?
the photo, Pete.
I know
Hold
you
on,
are,
let
what
P
am I?
present. You're up, P. P, you're up. Let's see you present this. What is it?
What, this is a photo of a human being wearing a spacesuit in a vacuum chamber.
It looks more like a compression chamber.
Yeah, well, you look like a fat pig. But here you are speaking English.
So So we're getting down to ad hoc.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's not. Do you have some actually rolling footage where you can
It does, it's
see
a
the
video.
vacuum actually working?
Right.
there?
So
I could play some rolling footage, but
Yeah,
it's,
yeah, do
it's
it,
of
do it.
people having anal sex with animals.
No
So,
need, no
Play
need.
the
Let's just see
and let's see what
footage.
vacuum the gauge. I see two gauges at the top there. Let's see what gauge goes down to when they play the clip. So
Oh,
play the clip.
Owen, your spacesuit comment has 7
Sick.
likes already on Discord.
P Mars enters the room and it
Well
turns
done.
into this.
Yeah,
So
it's true.
you guys take care,
It's
man.
not
I can't
true.
be.
Yeah,
I
it
can't
is,
be
it
around this
is.
guy.
Hold on.
You're
Can you
all
press
being
play, Pete?
screwed over in your mind. You don't have any idea of how actual design of these things work. They just tell you, "Oh, look, this is designed to do that," and you trust.
And you
them.
do, Owen.
And you believe it, hook, line,
No,
and
I don't
sinker.
believe it. I don't believe it. I
You
realize that
understand
it's a lie.
I don't, but you understand it all.
Done. You realize that you don't see any curve, but you believe there's curves because somebody told you the math for the curve has been done.
Yeah, but I
But you
see
tell
other
us-
evidence. I could
No,
go
you
on a plane and see the curve, or I can see obstruction.
But you
Apparently, Wake
realize
Souls is
that
gonna
you
join
don't
us.
actually
Please don't
see
boot
curve.
him.
You believe that
You
there's
realize
curve
I
because
see it
somebody
go
told
night
you that the
dark
math,
every single night, don't you?
but somebody's told you the math has been done. We're just looking
Realize
for
you
curves,
have
but
no
we can't find
explanation
any
for
curves.
where the sun goes every night.
Dawn,
You realize
live in
that,
Nor-
don't you?
Dawn, you live in Norfolk, right?
Yeah.
If I switch a torch on up here in Wigan or Manchester or Liverpool, do you think you can see it from where you live?
No.
Right, why is that? Is that because I've gone behind the curvature, or is it that it's too far away and it's out your proximity?
Hey, True Seeker.
I don't think that's a very good allegory for the sun, to be honest.
It's exactly the allegory that you're looking
It's
for.
not,
Why is it not?
because it's the torch.
How big's your torch, Tony? How big's your
Massive.
torch?
6 inches.
My torch is massive, and that's 6 inches wide.
Ooh, it's like a soda can.
Yeah.
How about you just have the torch at the end of my garden and move it further away and see if it disappears bottom first?
Hey, Arev, is that you?
Into
Hold
the
on,
grass.
hold on. Is that you, Arev?
Is it Ek?
Might have been. Apparently,
Yeah,
Awake Souls is going to join us, so
It's
don't kick
probably
him if
him
he does.
because we're not getting kicked.
Who's joining us?
Awake Souls.
I think it's crazy. You know, people like Tim and people like Dawn. I mean, these guys are losing sleep over this. You know, and I don't know. It's just when you're shown.
I sleep like a baby, mate. I don't lose sleep.
No, I think they're just bored, and they're just stuck in their
Oh, yeah, I should
position.
let
They're
you
just
guys
stuck in
know.
their psychological position. You know,
I should let you guys know I'm only 98% sure we're on a spinning globe now.
Everyone, don't kick me.
Hey, you were 99 last week. You've lost to
Yeah,
1%.
98 now. And it's
Oh,
just a position for the argument because I'm bored of arguing against it all the time. So sometimes I help Chemo and Debbie and help them with their arguments.
boring, isn't it?
We gotta
But
wonder-
you
Argue
actually
for my
progress when you're stuck in a singular belief and you're not moving
An
anywhere.
helio model without understanding it is religion. I agree with you guys.
Yeah,
But-
but
Moving
once you
on.
understand it and then try to test
Just
it
like
with
flat Earth.
reality,
You're not moving on. You're not bringing.
When you
in proof.
decide Earth's definitely flat and you don't fully understand it, that's a
No,
religion.
we don't decide it. We
You
do.
did.
Dawn,
We've
Dawn,
never
as
seen
a
the whole thing. We
glober,
don't know if it's flat. We just know the oceans aren't conforming to globe geometry.
Correct.
Oh, not you. Not you.
It's
exactly.
exactly the position we should all maintain. None of us should be suggesting models because we just do not know. We don't have $50 million a day, and we don't have time to do it because we have no scientists, right? So we should all say what it's not what we think it is.
That's
Exactly.
why I've been there for
Hey,
months.
Harris. How you doing? Can you hear us?
All right, what's happening? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
we can. Good to have you.
Well done.
Hello.
But I kind of disagree. I think that it's
All right.
fine to theorize. I think it's fine to theorize
Okay.
as long as you don't then push that theory onto others and declare that it is the truth.
Right, but you declare it's the truth. Like
No.
you say, our spacesuits are not designed to go in a vacuum, and you
Yeah,
know
but
that
I'm
for
pretty sure of that.
Pretty sure.
Yeah,
So not
pretty sure.
100.
No, not 100. I'm not
Because
100.
Dawn, you
sure
don't think
almost
that if
Are
that
you
was
100%
true, we'd
sure
have
when
examples
the
of that
sun
all over the
into the
place?
ocean like a hologram? Are you 100 on that?
Sorry?
Are you 100% sure that the sun isn't physical and it doesn't go behind Earth and it just sinks into the ocean like a hologram?
Nope.
You're not
100% sure.
not 100% sure.
Just
No,
perspective
but it's
again.
Sound like
Back
you
to
are
this.
when you
God,
argue it.
Why is it
Definitely
the
in the
globe
90s.
heads don't understand perspective?
I do.
can I
I
give an
went to
example?
art college, Nathan. I understand perspective.
Oh, right. You went to art college. I did performing arts, another one of those dropout subjects.
Yeah, one of them.
So, hey, so Dawn. So
Yeah.
if I let's pretend that we're just in a field, and let's say that you lay down in the middle of the field, and then I go on the other side of the field, and I throw a frisbee over your view. Are you going to see the frisbee leave my hand and hit the ground if you're laying down, looking up?
It probably depends how far away you are, but if you're quite far on a big field, then no.
Correct. But you can kind of picture kind of like what the sun is doing. You're only seeing in your field of view. So it's setting to you. I mean, is that not a good example?
That's
Yeah,
only assuming
that's not a good
that's
example.
But
It is
that
a
is
good
only
example.
that is based on the presupposition that it's actually a ball floating over the disc in a circle. You don't know that. You don't know that. It's just one way to approach it.
Well, if you don't suppose it's a spinning globe, you still have to come up with a reason where the sun went.
Yeah,
You don't.
convergence point.
No.
They left
No.
it went
No.
to your
No.
convergence
No,
point.
not
No.
convergence point.
I've got to
It would
correct
get
that,
smaller,
Dawn.
wouldn't
I've got to get my two pennyworth in. You don't have to come up with a just so story to smash the living daylights out of your presuppositional argument that we're on a spinning ball flying around the light in the sky. We can just smash the daylights out of it. We don't have to come up with a story.
Yeah, you do well at that, like picking the science apart, and people do find it very hard to prove to you that we're on a spinning globe.
That's because you can't.
That's because there is no
Yeah,
proof.
because we're
But
not.
you still can't explain where the sun went.
I'll just say it again, Dawn. I don't have to come up with a just so story to smash the living daylights out of yours.
Give us about 500 years, and I think we'll have a
I
smashing
was going to
story.
say, Don, we've been on this for 3 years, and the most we've got is a P900. What do you expect us to be able to do?
Usually,
If we got cooperation,
It's a logical reason where the sun went.
figure it out in 5 years easily.
Right,
Yeah,
the
mate,
logical
there is,
reason-
Dawn.
John, Bill.
I agree.
Dawn, the
You're right,
logical
Dawn. There
reason
is going to be
my
an
headlights will
explanation.
not light your house up from my house.
Right, but that's not an allegory to the sun going behind the horizon, is it?
Yeah,
but
but it's
you
not
don't-
going behind the horizon. It's disappearing beyond the point that you can see it anymore.
If you had your car down the road from me, say 50 meters, and your headlights are on full, and then
Yeah.
you drift backwards,
Yeah.
would they drop into the road bottom first and disappear completely? No.
If it was
They'd
500
get
miles
smaller.
away- if it was 500 miles away from you, what do you think? Do you think you'd see it then?
Yeah, I see light from
But
90.
he has a point there.
I didn't.
He has a point there. The sun moves at an angular rate, and it doesn't decrease as it approaches the horizon.
It disappears completely every night from the
Yeah,
bottom
but
first
that,
without getting
that can
smaller.
be explained in many different ways.
Yeah, but none of them fit properly. None of them make sense.
It gets smaller than when it's around.
That doesn't
12
make
minutes.
sense to you because you can't get your head out of the literally.
Because Flat Earth hasn't come up with a good explanation yet.
But
But
we've come up with several actually.
Hang on,
Not good ones.
hang on, Dawn. Flat Earth is not expected to come up with everything. We're not expected to be scientists.
Yeah,
All
but
we've gotta do is
nighttime
show-
happens every night. Come on, you have
Who
to.
cares? Give us $50 million a day and give us a shitload of scientists, and I'm sure we could work it out. And if we couldn't, we could just lie to you and say it's true. You know,
I
like
guess,
you
I guess that is a point. I guess that's.
Yeah, if we come up with a
Yeah.
convincing enough just so story, Dawn will buy it. Is anybody willing
Can you-
that's not
can you
chatting
guys
away
hear
to
me?
drop just so we can get Jason Awake Souls on? He's trying to join, but it's full, obviously.
Can you guys hear me?
We
Yes.
can?
Okay. I just have a quick question for the people that believe in the globe. I was always curious to know why is it so hard to believe that Earth is flat? I mean, we don't feel like we're moving.
Because no one's ever showed them the edge of it.
There is no.
That's a presumption that there is an edge.
So
Yeah,
an
there's no
infinite flat shape that no one can even theorize.
You're automatically assuming there is some kind of edge based on the visual idea,
Yes. Flat shapes,
Horizon
space
observation.
surrounding it.
flat shapes have
Horizon
edges.
observations suggest this thing
Yeah,
is either
only
fluid
within a
or
wider
infinite.
space.
But
No.
that's only even if you care about the edge.
Well, obviously,
I mean,
if you're theorizing you're in a
I am not
puddle
interested
prison.
in the edge.
You need
I'm
to
interested
you need
in
to
where-
care about the edge, don't you? You're in a prison under a dome in a puddle, being lied to. Why wouldn't you want to care about the edge?
Yeah, but
how
it
do you
could
know?
be a
How
dome,
do I
but it could
know?
also be a looping confine.
No, it couldn't.
Yes, it could.
It can be
You
any.
don't know until you.
The
Be a
point
number of
is,
things.
Well,
the point
I
is,
don't
I'm not
know,
concerned
Dawn.
about the
I
edge.
see
Go
no
to one
evidence,
edge
no.
and come back on the other edge. I'll
We
give
don't
you a hug and
know.
say I'm sorry.
Dawn, we don't know, but we are happy to admit that we don't know.
That is true.
Dawn, they don't know, and everything else is wrong.
No, we
don't
just
know- I
don't
don't know
invent a just so
100%.
story,
you know what,
Alan.
Dawn?
We're
You
not
know what,
saying
Dawn? As a
everything
flat
else is
earther, I
wrong.
would be more concerned with the edge if I was able to just go around the planet or the Earth the way that I wanted to. But since I'm not allowed to go into Antarctica and do whatever the hell I want,
Have you ever tried?
I can't be. Have I ever tried? No. Personally, I have never tried. But there are
So
plenty
you're
of people out there who have tried who have not been able
but
to
you've
do
never
that.
tried to get through it.
There are people that have tried and
I don't.
You
I don't have.
realise
I don't have the money to try to go to Antarctica, bro. I have a job. I have
Got them in
things
a
to do.
tub. Snails and worms go looking for the edge.
birds actually can go wherever they like, and
If
they
you
do.
put snails in a tank, they will go around the edge to check if they can
Yeah,
get
but
out.
snails
There-
don't do well in very cold environments, especially
There
if they have to
hasn't-
travel for hundreds of miles. So
I'm just
There
saying,
hasn't been
with
any
their small
proof
brains,
of
they
Jones.
still want to get out. They still want to realize
no
where the barrier is.
There's
yeah,
no
that's
proof of
territorial.
evidence,
It's territorial.
But none of
behavior.
you are doing it.
Animals
You're
do
just
that.
sitting, talking, and theorizing about it.
No, we're preoccupied by society.
Okay.
That's how that works. We're being kept busy doing our things, doing our
Yeah.
work, doing our education, doing our culture stuff.
Yeah, if I had the time and the money, I would try to. I would try to go out to Antarctica and see what I could see.
Okay.
But unfortunately, I don't have the time and the money. I have a job. I have things to do.
Is
Real
that
life.
Jason? How you doing?
It's almost
You know?
as the entire societal structure with the Federal Reserve has created this system to keep us busy.
Yeah. Look at that.
Any excuse.
Is that Jason that just joined by any chance?
But I was curious. Don't you globe people? Do you feel that the story sounds ridiculous?
Yeah, quite a bit. Yeah.
I mean, just think
More
about
ridiculous than living on spinning balls, even though there's no sense or observation of motion or curvature. More crazy than
Well, if you say it like that, I kind of agree. Like on a flat local area, it does seem flat and motionless.
crazy than
Unless you if you consider say it like that, I kind of agree. Like unless you consider the sky and deduce from there.
But Dawn, you seriously believe that we are performing all those movements at the same time?
No, I don't fully believe that. I think it's magic and mental.
And what do you think about all these recent stories that NASA comes up with, what they find out there, so-called mysterious giant space stations?
I don't believe all that.
Yeah, but that's actually official channel NASA stuff.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of a sign.
on your
you know?
side on
Like, hey, we're making stories here. It's
yeah.
not actual science. It's
I don't
science
want an
fiction.
authority to explain my whole outer paradigm to me either.
Yeah, but yet you do trust on them as a source to prove that the Earth is a globe with their pictures from space and their space
I mean,
station.
Not really.
I mean, you believe the guy that
Okay.
just supposedly put a car in space, and then the first thing he says about it is, "Oh, you could tell it's real because it looks so fake."
No, I don't fully
you
believe
kidding?
him. I think he's a troll.
You think he's a troll?
Possible though. You can't. I mean, you can screw a car to a rocket. Why not?
Yeah. And I just want people to know that I personally don't have a problem with science. I just don't think we live on a spinning ball. I think the technology that comes out of science is fantastic. But
Oh,
the
yeah,
fact-
science is awesome.
Yeah.
But that's not science. That's engineering. That's
Right, well, there you go.
Sciences. It's a very different field.
I
It's
ask-
not a theoretical
right. I
field.
think it's part of it, but yeah, I
Can I
understand.
ask you, Harris, if you believe in science and you trust it, where do you think the sun goes every night?
I have no
out
clue.
of your
No clue.
But I do
But
know.
you trust science, and that science has an
No,
answer.
as far as the
Dawn,
technology,
Dawn.
You don't even know
and
what the sun really is.
Dawn, are you not comfortable?
just like I don't know what the
with
moon really
saying-
is.
Are you not comfortable with saying I don't know?
I'm very comfortable with that. Yeah, since flat Earth, more comfortable.
You don't seem to be comfortable with it. You
I
seem
know,
to
because
want to have an
I come on
answer.
to fight your ideas.
He only
That's the problem
asks
with
us
most
questions that he knows
I
we
think-
can't answer.
I think most pseudoscience, it seems like they have to have an answer for something without saying that they don't know. I think I never believed in my life that we lived on a spinning ball. And it never dawned on me how you can come up with 93 million miles as a distance for a sun. I understand the trigonometry and stuff like that, but you need a starting point. And I'm like, how in the hell do you come up with 93 million miles when the moon doesn't look very much further? Or when the moon looks a lot
The moon
closer?
isn't further.
Yeah, but you have trigonometry for the heavens and you have trigonometry for the Earth. And trigonometry for the Earth is very real. But you have evidence, you have absolute certainties, and you can back check the sizes and the distances. Well, with the heavenly bodies, you only have the angular relations. That is the only thing that is solid, that you are certain of, that everybody can repeat every time. But you don't have a literal distance. You don't have a literal size. There is no certainty of this. Nobody has it.
Science does still say we don't know on some stuff.
Yeah,
But I do think they're over arrogant about
See,
what they claim to know.
my two biggest problems have always been water, and water being always level at rest.
What does science say? What does science say? Does it have lips and vocal cords? Why are you anthropomorphizing science? Science is the scientific method. For goodness sakes.
No, science is a person. It's a god. It's a spirit.
Well, what does science say? Who is that? Dawn Shredder? Why don't you?
No, it's the god with the white coat. Come on.
Share his screen and
And
let's
the
see
goggles.
science
Come on,
say
John.
it.
It's the god with the white coat. You know,
We wanna
the
see
newest member of the Pantheon.
Arwen, hold off for a second. Calm down. Dawn Shredder, share your screen. We want to see science saying something. Go ahead. Have him share his screen. Let's see what they have.
What do you want me to do? Shall I play a Vsauce?
Science saying something. Go ahead. Have him share his screen.
I'll play Vsauce.
Let's see what they have.
Oh my god, please
Shall I
with
play a
Vsauce.
Science saying something.
He's giving his answer. He thinks. Hold on.
Play
let's just-
Vsauce.
See what they have.
Oh my god,
Hold on. So he's saying science is Vsauce.
I'll play
See what
Vsauce.
they have.
Hold on.
Yeah,
Go on.
truth, reality. You're having a feedback loop. Turn down the YouTube.
Jason.
Go on, Nathan. Sorry.
I was just I thought it was you talking continually. It was actually feedback.
Yeah, that truth probably had his YouTube open. Didn't mute it. You need to mute that when you're in the Hangout.
Yeah, let's get it back on track. So, to answer your question, John, he's saying that science says would be YouTube with a scientist saying something.
Yeah, Brian Cox, Vsauce.
Yeah, the
Brian
collective.
Cox.
Obviously,
really.
I'm joking. Like, science is
Oh my god.
consensus of study, and it's not a person speaking.
So science doesn't say, right?
Yeah, science says.
Science says. So they got lips, vocal cords, sentience, and intelligence, right?
Not like
Go
Simon
ahead.
said.
Go ahead. Let's see it. Share your screen. I want to see science saying something.
I've got Brian Cox, Wonders of the Universe.
So Brian Cox is science? I thought he's just a person.
He says what science says.
Oh,
He's
he
a
repeats
TV
what
actor.
science says. So
He's
he's
a
a
representative.
actor, like Bill Nye the Science Guy.
So he's a parroter.
No,
So
he's not an actor. No.
We want to see the source. We want to see
No, he's
science.
like
saying-
Jesus. You have to go through him in order to get to the science.
Let's see the science saying something, please. You made the claim. Let's see it.
You just have to watch the signs.
It wasn't a
Wait,
claim.
science or signs? Which one is it?
I've seen a scientist say that the Earth is pear-shaped.
A science? Did you? Was he a scientist?
No, that was Neil deGrasse, and I think he smoked a little.
Yeah, that was
What
Neil
makes him a
deGrasse
He's not
Tyson.
really a scientist, I don't think.
He's not a
I don't know,
scientist.
that's
He's a
what they call
pseudoscientist.
him.
But he has such a nice voice. Come on, he must be a scientist.
Oh, he's
Astrophysicist.
great. And he drops
Pseudoscience.
microphones and
Yeah.
Astrophysicist.
Awesome.
What makes a scientist a scientist?
I think nowadays it's just putting the word scientist in their title.
I know
think
in this
that-
day and
that-
age,
that
in this day and
pretty
age,
much
it's
qualifies that.
authority. It's authority and having followers in this day and age.
Authority through consensus.
Oh, so like Kim Kardashian's a scientist.
And real objective science has
If somebody with some type of authority said that Kim Kardashian is a scientist, yeah, people would start believing that. This is how gullible people are in the world today. It's really ridiculous.
She must be a globe earther.
Yeah, I see lots of gullible people on both
good
sides.
goyim. They're very good goyim.
Goyim. That's a word.
Yeah, Jason, you're not unmuting the Hangout at the moment, so there's obviously an audio problem at your end. Maybe click the cog at the top of the Hangout, and then select the correct microphone. So move your mouse over your Hangout if you're on a computer, at the cog, go to the microphone settings and select the correct one.
Yeah, make sure that if you have the YouTube window open at the same time, that one is muted. Otherwise, we're gonna have a feedback loop.
I will have to mention or admit, though, I think since this movement, I would say that the people with that agree with that geocentric model seem to be doing more research than the globe people. I think globe people are believers, and they're just happy with the numbers that are given to them, and they just roll with that. Well, I see way more flat earthers doing more experiments and things these days.
The problem is most globers don't even know their own model. Like random globers that you'll meet on the street, random people. I don't even want to call them globers, just regular people who believe
To be
the regular
fair,
system.
to
They don't know their model. They like unless they were really inclined into science when they were in school, they don't believe it, or they don't really understand it. And then when you tell them that as a flat earther, they think you're full of shit.
Yeah, but to be fair, Chocolate, not all Christians know every detail about the Bible, now do they?
No.
Exactly. But they believe, and they trust even in
Faith
that
and
which
trust,
they
yeah.
do not
Yeah,
know.
but even they're grown to know that that's faith. But as far as the globe, that's not supposed to be faith. That's supposed to be fact.
Yeah, it's
We are
sad when there's
taught
more
that.
truth.
You're
Yeah, we are
equivocating
taught
with the
that
word
in school
faith.
as fact. We're not taught that this is faith. We're taught that we are living on a spinning ball. That's not something you believe in. That's a fact. That's
No,
why
that's
we're
what
told
they
by the
believe in.
globers.
No, but that's
No,
that's
exactly.
the
But that's
true
what they're
religion.
told. They tell us that that's a fact.
No, but that is the true religion aspect about it. A real, true religion is not a belief. It is a set of scriptures and dictates that are set to be the absolute reality.
That's not religion.
That
That's
is
not
what a real religion is.
No,
A real
religion.
religion
That's
is a
not a religion.
scripture that is being portrayed as
That's
the
not a
absolute-
religion.
Yes.
That's not a religion. Belief without evidence is religion. The
anybody-
object of it
Yeah, but
is
that's a
irrelevant.
technical definition. But the a
Belief
true,
without evidence.
But there's a difference now in how
Religion has nothing to
religion
do
is
with
approached right now and how it used to be. Because in the medieval times, Christianity was being applied as absolute truth, and there's still
Sorry
religious
to interrupt.
fundamentalists.
Sorry,
that
hold on,
still
Owen.
see
I'm
it.
really sorry to interrupt you. Is there anybody who's willing to drop so we can have Charles join? He's trying to join, but we've got 10 members. So anybody who's willing to drop? So
Yeah, I can.
Okay, thank you, Dawn.
Thanks.
Pleasure.
Later,
Thanks for
Dawn.
being here, Dawn.